Hey guys, joining you today to share something that I do when I go consult for teams or often work with coaches at the collegiate level to improve their coaching, their communication, sometimes their efficiency. One activity that I do is to track how learning is broken up kinesthetically, visually, and auditory for athletes during drills, during games in practice. So recently I was with a couple college teams, and for instance they were doing a 10-minute drill where they played 4-on-4 where they offense had an advantage read. And so what I do is I track 3 different columns, and in those columns I have for one, how much time is spent playing, then how much time is spent transitioning, and then how much time is spent where people are listening to coach. And I break those 3 up to see what is the efficiency that the team has currently. You can see I wrote down in the training section how the number of seconds they spent actually live in the drill. Then what you can do is from that deduct how much time was spent teaching. And how I did that was basically, you could also track the transition time if you had multiple people. And what I did is I just counted 3 or 4 times what was the average transition for the players from the ending of the drill to the next rep starting. And they averaged about 5 seconds. Well, I could count the number of transitions they had based on how many times I wrote, 8 seconds, 12 seconds, 15 seconds. I knew how many reps they got in the drill, and so I can, with math, figure out how much on average did they spend transitioning from the end of one drill to the beginning of the next. Whatever time is left is the time spent everyone quiet listening to coach before the next rep. For instance, this coach I was with a few weeks ago was shocked to realize that of the 10 minutes in that drill, his players only got 3 minutes and 16 seconds of actual kinesthetic learning where they were going through and implementing what they were trying to work on. And so there are 2 areas that he realized his team could improve. One is in transitions. One thing that makes UConn women's basketball unique, in my opinion, is how they sprint on and off the floor. Their hustle in between transitions. Well, this team a few weeks ago had, I believe, 25 transitions. Well, if they could knock off, 3 seconds, which was very easy because they all had the habit of walking between possessions, they could add a whole nother minute of kinesthetic learning to that 10 minutes. And then it was also great for the coach to see that most likely 5 minutes was spent him talking. And so as coaches, we can look at how much time are we talking, which is great for the, auditory learners, but most research shows that, and the research disagrees about the exact number, but nearly everyone, 55% or more of their learning is done kinesthetically. We're all a mix of kinesthetic and auditory and visual, but nearly everyone is over 55% kinesthetic. And although we may have said it 1,000 times, if a majority of your drill is spent you talking, you're not actually serving your athletes. Or you at least need to have the awareness of how much time am I spending kinesthetically teaching, how much time are my players kinesthetically learning, how much are they visually learning, how much are they learning via auditory, and then are we losing time in our transitions? And so I'll encourage you to break down your games, drills, activities in this way to track your efficiency. If you don't have extra assistant coaches, use those players who are injured. It's a great way to keep them engaged, and they can be working on their math skills as well. So also a great thing for a manager to do, but you should be tracking your efficiency to see how your players or what levels of learning they're getting